Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome to what is going to be the final part of Let's Play Hoi 4 The Great War mod, as well, the German Empire. The reason being, well, you all ended up in reality with basically 2 weeks to leave a comment letting me know how you felt about me continuing this series after pushing the Entente out of Russia, and as a result, nobody said anything. Literally, there was not a single comment, period, about it. Not in English, not in any other languages, nothing. And so, as a result, I'm going to go and do what I was personally leaning towards, which is actually perfectly fine with me because the series that I placed on hold because nothing interesting was happening in it, and as a result started up this series in the meantime. Yes, well, that series now has interesting things happening in it, so that series will probably be starting up within the next couple of weeks again. But yes, so I actually don't give a crap about if we manage to completely push the Entente out of Russia this part, because either way I'm still going to be ending the series here. We might revisit this mod at some point in the future, especially if I were to do a multiplayer with basically just somebody playing as each of the major powers. But as it stands right now, yeah, I don't currently have any plans to revisit this mod in the future. But let's go ahead and give you guys the final part. Hopefully I'll manage to push the Entente out of Russia, but I'm not really holding my breath on that. It'd be great if I could liberate Constantinople, but I don't really think that's going to happen, mostly because, well, the Ottomans failed miserably in even defending the actual Asia Minor portion of, well, I guess rather the Anatolia portion of their empire. So, yeah. They lost it again. So I don't really think they're gonna... I don't think I'll be able to push through and liberate Constantinople this part. If I did another part, maybe, but I'm not gonna do another part. So, yes, like I said, this is gonna be the final part. And these guys do need some more railways. Actually, I could do it in here. I don't own enough of that to give you guys more railroads. Just kick it up to max, I really don't care. Because we're on all adult service, we got a minus 20% to build speed. Which sucks, but isn't that big of a deal, really. And we still have all the black flags, because, yeah. But hey, you know, at least the flags here work. I mean, I don't think they worked before, now they do. It's not much of an improvement, but it is a minor improvement nonetheless. Yeah, I don't really care if you're gonna have to start from scratch. Admittedly, I don't need to build these up anymore because we're not gonna be using them, but whatever. Because by the time I'd actually be able to take advantage of those, the series is already gonna be over. Sure, we'll go and get the better reinforce rate. I'm sure that'll be helpful. You know, it wouldn't hurt to have a air base somewhere over here. We'll do it there, because I believe I own the bulk of that. Yes, there's only a single portion of that sort of province that I don't actually have control over. Okay, with the help of those rails, it should be better. Now, I'm going to switch you off to something else, if I can find it. Because if I go to, yes, construction engineering, we gain a bonus to build speed of railroads. Or, well, infrastructure, rather, but I call them railroads because that's what they are as far as I'm concerned. I'm guessing they're perfectly fine on supplies because the AI actually gives a crap about supplies because it doesn't tend to build more infrastructure, I believe. I believe it typically just says, screw it, I don't care. Which is probably not in the AI's best interest, but what do I know? Okay, you guys are winning that right now. Now you're not. I mean, if the Austro-Hungarians decide to get involved, come on, Austria-Hungary. You know you want to do it. You know you want to get involved and help your best friend Germany. Your one and only true pal, the people that helped you defend Vienna from the Entente. No, they're not going to help us. They're just going to sit there twiddling their thumbs saying, oh, don't worry about it. Germany's got it. Yeah, I got it, but, I mean, if you helped, we'd be able to get it even faster. Which is always a nice thing. I know, surprise, surprise. My guys can only fight for so long. You have more supply and more organization as it stands right now. Well, that's mostly because you haven't fought. Did we get enough of those built? I'm going to go ahead and say no, we haven't got enough of the infrastructure built up in those regions yet. And until then, I'm not going to be launching any assaults through there. Come on, guys, got to make it green again. Okay. I'm telling you, Austria, if you had helped, we got it. We would have been able to take that province. We would have been able to squeeze them in a little bit closer to Alexandria, and eventually they'll all be sitting on Alexandria bleeding it dry of supplies because they just won't have the necessary supply coming from it. Game says these guys can possibly break through. I have a hard time believing it, mostly because, yes, lack of supplies. Bulgaria, I got a favor to ask of you. Do you mind giving me Central Macedonia? No. Yes, you do mind. And if your attacks begin to fail, just give up. I don't care. Are any of you... Hejaz is capitulated again, not surprised. I don't think any of you are getting support. I really don't. Are we not building fighters and whatnot? No, because we have damaged factories. Why am I not surprised? Oh, did I already swap out all the heavy... No, I have not actually swapped out the heavy artillery. Let's go and... I don't actually have the necessary field guns to do that, so never mind. Oh, but you know what I can do? Cancel that, because I don't need it anymore. If you guys take that, those guys will be blocked off from supplies, because I don't think they're getting any supplies through Albania, because Albania is not in the war. And as a result, that'll be a nice little group of Entente troops that we could completely annihilate. Okay, we pushed the, I think that was French out. But the French are sending in more troops. I could use some help from the Austro-Hungarians. You guys got the supplies yet? No. We're still building it up far too slowly. You guys really are going to take forever to build that, it seems. Okay. Yep, you all failed. I don't know what the hell happened there. You're the... Who are you guys then? Oh! You're a part of that one. Huh. Didn't realize that. This is what I get for not really paying too much attention. Yeah, I'm guessing you guys probably attacked as well. Oh, see, now the Austro-Hungarians decide they want to attack. You know, after my attack failed because they didn't support me. You know, no, I'm not going to support them. Screw it. If they're not going to support me in my attacks, why should I support them in theirs? I am lucky that the Entente aren't using their supply advantage in Russia right now to actually push back. Because if I was them, I probably would. Because a number of these regions are either completely undefended, which means I would take them personally, because it would possibly allow more supply threshold, or more supplies through. But also, some of these locations are very lightly defended. I mean, these guys have basically no supply whatsoever. They're at an average strength of 23%. But the Entente want to play nice and not do that. Okay, I imagine you guys will now successfully manage to push through there, which would be great. You guys should be able to push through here as well. Which, again, is great. Because we should be able to take Alexandria. There we go, great job. Another thing that I can't really take advantage of, mostly because, again, the series will be over by then. Could go and research a better fighter or a better tactical bomber. I might end up doing that because I don't think there's anything else I can really research that I could take any real advantage of. Because everything is like 700 plus days. Okay, you help them. Those guys are gonna get pushed back into Alexandria. Wonderful. Now you guys need to hold that. We're gonna get some support from the Austro-Hungarians moving in, but it looks like the Ottomans are gonna send their tank to the province next door. Okay, we're about to lock them into Alexandria. Yeah. But we're not going to be able to prevent them from possibly fleeing out to Cyprus. Or possibly even Crete. Depending on where they decide to flee to. That's largely out of my control and prediction. I believe that's just one province. I believe. I don't know, actually. It might be two. I think it's just one. Yeah, no, it'd have to be just one, actually. Because, yeah, Alexandria has a port. What's that update now again? Oh, that. I forgot to upgrade the battle cruiser that we're not going to be really using anyway. You guys go ahead and research me a better fighter. I probably won't bother using it, but nonetheless, I'll at least have it. Looks like we're going to fail there because we're not going to get any support from our allies. How are you guys doing in terms of... Okay, the guys up top have enough supplies, but the guys on the bottom still don't. We do, however, now have this here, which this... Oh, wonderful. Which will be helpful, at least to a degree. Looks like you're not going to be getting fighter support, though. Namely because we don't actually have any fighters. They've apparently all been shot down. There's really not much I can do about that outside of repair factories. Specifically military factories. Is that all of them? Yeah, looks like that's all the military factories. Move you to the bottom. You know, move you all to the bottom as well. Focus on the repairs. I mean, this is like the weakest portion of their front line. But one of the main issues is it would open me up to attack from so many different directions. But they keep shuffling troops out of there. Improved communication system, wonderful. Not really. I don't think the extra reinforce rate's gonna help me too much, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Are we even using our Zeppelins anymore? I don't think we are. I think we've stopped using our Zeppelins entirely. You know what, actually? I am gonna go ahead and say screw it and swap you guys off to regular artillery. I don't care if we don't have enough. Yeah, there's really nothing you guys can research that'd be useful at this point. I mean, I guess you can research some stuff to make the non-existent submarines that we have better. But the reality is, it's not really going to be making them any better because we don't have any. I'm fairly certain of that. Yeah, we have literally none. I assume I need another line. I probably do. Let's get another line of early artillery going. Oh, I already had... No, you're not heavy line. Yeah, no, get rid of you entirely. I don't want you at all. Move your damaged factories to something useful. So that'll give me some extra production of field guns, which is what we need more of. It would appear as though we have a nice little surplus of infantry equipment, so I can probably actually swap one of those infantry equipment off of infantry equipment and move it to, I guess, support equipment would be helpful. Uh, 7.5 a day. You'll get up to 7.5 a day. You will as well. That's about 15. Yeah, that should probably deal with our losses that we currently have. It's going to take them a while, though. We also need heavy tanks. But we're not actually losing any. It's just that we produce them so slowly at a rate of 1.3 a day that it takes forever. Oh, now we're actually losing some. It's mostly attrition, I imagine, really. I'm trying to find a good spot to attack. But because my troops don't have all their organization and supply, there really are no good spots to attack. How are you guys doing? What are you on? You're on service by requirement still. The French are on scraping the barrel. We estimate that they only have about 560,000 to 662,000 manpower left. So France is gonna pretty much literally be bled dry in terms of manpower. They won't be able to do anything. If I were to continue this series into a fictional World War II as a result of this, if France still existed in Africa, they have basically no manpower because they would not be able to get the necessary gain back. Okay. It seems as though there's nobody over there. Our allies aren't reporting anybody as they go by, so if you don't mind, just go and retake that port real quick. Yep, there is nobody there. Wonderful. That'll probably also speed our allies up because they're not going to loop around it. They're just going to go straight on through there now. Yep. Okay, the Ottomans are going to go and retake Tel Aviv. We are slightly gaining field equipment, but it would take, 700 days to actually deal with the deficit of field guns. So that's going to be a long time, i.e. never going to happen in this series. So you guys up north should be getting, in theory at least, you could be getting, rather, supplies. Infantry equipment. Yeah, our standard infantry doesn't have any artillery outside of the support artillery, which I guess is probably fine for the most part. If I turn some of these guys into regular infantry divisions, it would help us out a little bit in terms of supplies and whatnot. So, what do you say if I take these guys and turn them into infantry divisions? I would gain 10 motorized. I would need some extra infantry equipment. I would still tactically need some more field guns and support equipment, because these guys probably don't actually have any on hand. That would be correct. They have, basically no field guns on hand. They actually do surprisingly have some, though. Looks like it doesn't actually cost us any extra manpower, though. You know what? No, do it, though. Do it. Infantry equipment is also cheaper on terms of supplies. Admittedly, those were the guys that already had supplies, so it's not that helpful. Oh, now you guys have supplies. Wonderful. Except for these guys right here that can't get more supplies. You guys also go ahead and become infantry equipment. Or regular infantry divisions. Now, I have absolutely no idea where the hell the Allies are getting their supplies from. They have some Lend-Lease coming from Spain and the US. But the US is giving horse-drawn vehicles. Same with Spain. So they're not getting infantry equipment. So how the hell are they still having supply there? They're not getting any artillery, they're not getting any infantry equipment, none of that stuff from any of their allies, but somehow, mystically, they still have the necessary production that they need. I've got to call BS on that. I have a hard time believing that they actually are perfectly fine like that. Because this is the British Isles. This is all Britain is able to directly produce from. According to the game, they are not getting any supplies from the British Raj, who has a lot of space to possibly build factories. Oh, and there's a little bit of extra stuff over here for the UK, but nonetheless, generally speaking, the UK doesn't have that much in the way of production. So, it just seems like straight up BS that they apparently have enough production to be able to produce all the artillery and infantry equipment and whatnot that they have. Because they're not getting any from anyone. I'm not getting any from anyone. And my guys can't even really get anywhere. I mean, hell, the Austro-Hungarians won't even help me. Because it always says, oh, we don't have enough. And I wonder why that is. I really do. Probably has something to do with the fact that it is not possible for the most part in this mod to really produce the necessary amount to do anything. I mean, hell, they're producing 500 infantry equipment a day. They have almost 260,000 infantry equipment of various types sitting in a warehouse somewhere in Vienna, probably. And they still don't think they have enough infantry equipment to be able to give to me. Admittedly, I don't need infantry equipment from them, but nonetheless, they don't consider themselves to have enough, with almost 260,000. With only 164 various divisions out in the field, most of which are probably just their standard infantry division, that I don't think comes with any artillery by default. So, again, how the hell are the British having the necessary supplies? Because I have a hard time believing that they have them. I really do. They're kind of getting on my nerves, blowing up my factories at this point. And yeah, I'm not able to build those. Let's set up another line of artillery. And you guys need a couple that could be produced. Yeah, I think you guys are fine without that stuff now. Just focus on getting the repairs done. Oh, Montenegro has capitulated yet again. Torpedo propulsion, it's worthless, but we'll take it anyway. Or actually, rather, we won't, because we'll take the convoy target focus. There we go. Now you guys are getting some supplies, which is great, because if you guys don't mind, I'd love for you to take that. And you feel free to support them. And actually, you need to support, not attack, because you could actually lose this province if you step out of it entirely. Oh no, you don't have to move. You can stay there. Same with you, you can stay there. You can stay there, people. Quit trying to change positions. I mean, unless you absolutely have to, please don't. Now, because we have tanks over here, this is really going to help us. Because tanks are wonderful. They're a wonderful invention for conquest. You feel free to go ahead and support that attack. Same with you all. You know, just to speed it up a tad. You feel free to join in on that attack. Okay, apparently Montenegro got liberated, and then they proceeded to capitulate again immediately after. Because I guess they wanted to ignore the fact that they had already capitulated twice. And they wanted to do it a third time, because nobody else had done it a third time. Although I think they already beat most people, because I don't think anybody had capitulated more than once yet. So, I mean, I guess they just wanted to secure their lead in capitulation. Because the Ottomans have only capitulated actually once. They've never been completely liberated, mostly because Constantinople holds so much of their stuff that if they don't have Constantinople, it's very difficult for them to really get liberated. And I can't exactly liberate Constantinople because of just how many troops the Entente have poured into the area. Which is probably partly in response to the sheer number of troops that I have there, but nonetheless, fact of the matter is they got a ton of troops there. Okay, we're gonna be able to cut off supplies to those guys, it looks like, at least temporarily. I don't know if it'll be permanent, because I don't know how well we'll manage to hold this province or region or whatever the hell they're actually referred to. I'm pretty sure it's province. Because that's region, I believe. Well, or state, depending upon where you are exactly. I want that tank to actually go in on the attack. It looks like the Entente were going to try and provide some support over there, but they didn't quite manage to make it in time. In theory, you can take that without any help. No, they just moved some more troops in there, so now you're definitely not going to manage to. Yeah, how about you all go there? Okay, we just got precision bombing. Let's go and get turn fighting. Not that it really matters, because we don't actually have any fighters. I'm pretty sure they're all still destroyed. Yeah, we're not actually producing any. Because, yeah, our fighter factories are all still damaged beyond being able to be utilized. Oh, we lost that now, damn it. Now, can you guys take that, or are you gonna end up failing? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're gonna end up failing, but we'll see. So far, you're actually doing pretty decent. The numbers aren't really moving up, but we are decreasing the estimated time for the battle to last. Oh. Now the favor's back in for them. Yeah, it's probably because there's some shore bombardment going on, which is not really helping us. Oh, wonderful. You guys have managed to go in. Oh, that's going to be a nice little pocket to destroy. Yeah, we need to take 2 provinces here to cut those guys off, which would be a real pain to take. Because well, I suppose if I take this one, I'd have 2 areas that I could attack from. But that's still fairly well defended. It's going to get shock and awe. The game thinks my guys can succeed, so you know what? I'll let them try. But I am going to tell them that if they fail miserably in their attacks, to just give up. Don't keep trying. Come on, guys. Most of the enemy have abandoned Alexandria now as a result of that last battle, so don't give up, just keep on attacking. There we go. We've liberated Alexandria. Now you all can go and move to wherever the hell you want to move to. Egypt has officially capitulated. I mean, they were technically already, as far as I'm concerned, capitulated, but, you know, it wasn't official yet. I don't think you guys managed to push at all. Like, literally none. You go there. You attack there. No. You go there. Come on. You move into there. because for some reason the enemies are shuffling around in such a way that they're completely abandoning some of these positions. Which is great for us, because it means we can just kind of waltz on in. I do not know what the Entente are doing here, but for some reason they are effectively abandoning some of these positions. These guys are trying to break out because they see that this fight up here isn't going well. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't let them try and get out of there. You ate in that battle. Damn it. We're not going to manage to cut those guys off, because this battle has taken longer than I expected it to. Because for some reason our guys are just failing miserably at finishing these guys off. I do not know why. Send the tank in as backup then. Jesus, people, come on. Ah! More locations being completely abandoned by the Entente. Wonderful. It's always great when for some reason your enemy decides to completely abandon their position. Especially since in the case of this game, it's not like they're booby-trapping them or anything. Like what I imagine most people would probably do if they were abandoning their position. Oh, looks like we're gonna have to import... Ooh, well, let's go with the Netherlands, because I actually have a shared border with them so that I don't have to ship it from overseas. They do, but their ships aren't going to be attacked shipping it from the, what is it, Dutch East Indies, all the way to the Netherlands itself, and they'll just put it on a truck and ship it to me across the border, and we'll say, thanks, guys. Wow, those locations are not defended at all. You know what, you guys? I think you can manage to finally change things. You might actually manage to take Constantinople, because it seems as though the Entente aren't doing so hot down here in the Balkans anymore. I don't know why. It's not like we've cut off their supplies or anything wonderful like that. I mean, it'd be great if we did, but we're not. So, I don't know what their problem is. But they do seem to be having some problems. You know what, screw it. You can research basic machine tools, but you'll never get it. It's going to take too damn long to research. Yeah, you guys might actually manage to take Constantinople by the end of this part. It should be great if you did. You guys, feel free to go out on the offensive. I think you guys generally have it. Most of our successful pushes are happening in the north, but eventually they'll get pushed back to Constantinople and they won't have anywhere to run except out to sea, which sadly means that they'll escape because I don't have the ability to completely prevent them from escaping. It's a shame, really, but that's just the way it is. I would have to... I already own the Suez, but I would have to take out Gibraltar, which would require me to get my navy down here, have it survive long enough to lock down the Western Mediterranean Sea region for Marines that I have long since canceled because I just don't care for them anymore. They just don't seem like they'd actually be useful. There we go. Great job, guys. Now you're showing them the might of the German army. The German Imperial Army. Once you guys are done... Yeah, we're not going to be able to cross the strait here. Sadly. It's mostly just the result of they still own the seas. So there's no way for me to really cross it. But I think like EU4, if you own both sides, you can cross without need to worry about the Navy, because it seems as though you built a tunnel underneath it, but you can only use that tunnel if you own both sides. Presumably because the tunnel is probably defended on the other side if you don't. I believe in this game, if you own both sides, you can cross, just like they made that change in EU4, which, honestly, I hate that change. I really do. I loved being able to blockade straits to prevent the enemy from being able to advance. But they decided, you know what? No. You're not allowed to completely prevent the enemy from advancing. You guys are set to be aggressive, so why the hell aren't you being aggressive, my friends? Oh, that's a pond. Or a lake, excuse me. Whatever. No, go there. Take that, damn it. Actually, you guys keep helping there. You can go there instead. That shouldn't really hurt us. Because if these guys start moving down here, I can just attack them. So, it sort of evens out, really. Okay, looks like the French have lost upwards of about 100,000. Yeah, you guys aren't going to manage to take that. Oh, now for some reason the game says you might. Okay, I assume it's just the result of more qualified people getting in on the fight, but now it's back to being you guys aren't taking that. You guys are actually doing surprisingly well. And you are set to be aggressive, but you don't seem to be doing too much in the way of the aggressive stuff. Because a number of you guys over here could have easily gone and supported this attack without me explicitly telling you to do so. But for one reason or another, they decided not to go and do that. Now we gotta fight it again. For some reason the game seemingly bugged out and decided that that guy wasn't actually there and participating in the fight. But after the previous fight ended, the game said, oh wait, that guy is there. Yeah, you guys are gonna need new orders. I think I'm gonna have you just hold that though for the most part. Because if you swoop up, you can get cut off. If you swoop down, you can get cut off. And if you swoop down, you're definitely not helping these guys. And you'd have to do a really funky border to be able to completely cut these guys off. I mean, you'd have to somehow stretch all the way up to Tobruk, which you guys aren't going to be able to do. No matter how much you want to, it is just not going to happen. Really? You think that's going to take 60 days, game? I have a bit of a hard time believing that one. I mean, maybe, but it just seems unlikely to me, if we're going to be completely honest. There we go, that's a nice little pocket. And again, game decides, oh no, those two guys aren't participating in the fight, which means there's going to be a second battle to actually deal with those two. Because for some reason, they're just not being counted. How are you guys doing? Oh, you actually managed to take it. Holy crap, I'm surprised. We actually managed to liberate Constantinople. Or, I mean, I guess technically at this point it's not Istanbul, officially. think this mod has an event to change the name of Constantinople. I think it always is stuck as Constantinople. Which is interesting because theoretically the mod could create an event to where once a certain date hits, and so long as it's held by the, well, Ottomans or the Turks, depending on exactly when it happened, they could theoretically do it. Okay, there are people going to that province. Good. You guys are doing well up there. You guys are actually trying to push across, which, I mean, if you did, wonderful. I don't see it happening, though. I really don't. But I certainly won't complain if you manage to do it. Because it is still helpful if you manage to do it. Oh, yippee, improved torpedo propulsion. Yeah, how about we don't put those on our submarines and we put those on our destroyers or something. Put some torpedo tubes on them. Because we're not building any submarines because they're so damn weak. I mean, holy crap. I honestly think the game itself nerfed the way submarines work because they honestly seem like they got a whole hell of a lot weaker at some point. Because they used to be decent. Then they became just complete and utter garbage. And you guys failed to take that, of course you did. Or if you did, you got pushed back. But the AI decided not to continue pushing you back afterwards. No, give me that game. Go ahead and help that attack, thank you very much. Because then those guys can all move around and we can possibly push even further. Some slight changes to your battle plan. Okay, you guys don't seem to be pushing anymore, mostly because of, I assume, supply issues. Yeah, that's probably part of it. And just because people are shuffling around a lot right now, trying to figure out where they want to go. And of course, as you take more land, people have to shuffle around more. Yeah, you guys aren't going to be able to cross that. Let's just be completely honest here. You're effectively needing to perform a naval invasion across that strait. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, the enemy is considered far too strong for our blue army down here in Africa to continue their push. If I actually trusted my allies, I would actually possibly abandon this front, leave it to them to defend it, and move the blue army up here to aid in retaking Anatolia again. More so to try and take along the coastline, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'd rather take the coast. Take control of the ports and whatnot. Cut off supplies to all the guys in the center. And then just kind of squeeze them into one province, sort of somewhere in the center of their lines. I don't know why you guys are struggling. I guess it's because there's 15 Greek troops there. We're not trying to reenact 300 guys. And 300 hasn't even happened yet, but nonetheless. You know, we're not trying to reenact that or anything. So please, just kill them all. Get it over with. We're not being the Persians invading the Greeks or anything like that, no. Or the Germans invading the Greeks. Only because they decided to get involved in a war that they could have easily stayed out of. Nobody would have invaded them. They'd have been perfectly fine. we would have let them just kick back, relax, and enjoy watching from the sidelines, maybe supplying weapons and whatnot to either side. They could build up a nice little weapons manufacturing industry and just ship supplies out to me, the Austro-Hungarians, the British, the Spanish. Well, the Spanish aren't in the war, but the Portuguese, the Italians, the French, yada yada yada. Everybody would have bought their supplies if they just sat back out of the war and built up a nice little weapons manufacturing industry. But no. The Greeks had to get involved, which is why now they're going to be just completely and utter destroyed. And technically put under Austro-Hungarian rule. Yeah, I don't really like the idea of it being Austro-Hungarian rule, but nobody wants to give me land. They say, oh, but Germany, you already have so much land. So what? I'm the only one who's really fighting the war. Okay, great job. You guys are pushing into Russia nice and easy. Well, maybe not nice and easy, but you are pushing into Russia. But there's only about 9 minutes left, so it ain't gonna happen. Plus, we have to somehow mystically cross this wasteland as a result of changes to the mod, adding more regions to Korea. You know, to help Japan, because Japan needed more stuff. They're already annoying as it is, launching naval invasions from Cyprus into frickin' Anatolia. But no. We needed to give them some extra regions in Korea so that they could actually put up a fight. Because that's clearly what you want to have to deal with, is them being able to build even more marines and crap to be able to launch even more naval invasions. Luckily, they don't actually get the advantage. In fact, they're probably disadvantaged as a result of this division. Just because the changes to the mod. Okay, you feel free to go there. Thank you very much. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. At this point, the Entente would have likely come to the table and said, okay, Germany, let's come to a reasonable agreement to end this war. There's been 34 million manpower lost on your side alone. 32 some odd million manpower lost on our side. The French are out of the fight for the most part. They're just sitting around in Africa twiddling their thumbs. Australia, the British Raj, they've done like basically nothing, realistically speaking. Japan's been nothing more than an annoyance. The US is going to be a pain in the ass to invade, but that's about as far as it goes, because they're not really supplying the Entente with the right supplies to make them even worse than they already are. But yes, at this point, I honestly believe that the Entente would have come to the table and said, okay, let's come to a reasonable agreement, because you owned the vast majority of continental Europe, realistically speaking. The vast majority of continental Europe is under Central Power control. If we take Spain, oh boy. Not that Spain has any good resources as it stands right now, realistically speaking. At least nothing that I really need. If they had rubber, I'd invade them in a heartbeat. But Spain doesn't have rubber, so it's not really helpful. Okay, game thinks you guys can attack, so feel free. But if your attacks fail, just stop advancing. I'm gonna kick the game up to 5 speed. And just kind of let my guys go and finish this. Because, yeah, I think they can finish it. We're losing about 1,500 infantry equipment a day. But with such a large surplus, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It'll take about 200 days for us to run out of it. And realistically speaking, it's not going to be a straight 200 days of fighting. And some of these fights are going to be completely over by then. Because I don't see it taking another 200 days to finish off the Entente in Russia. Especially if my troops can do a better job of coordinating their assaults. Yeah, the AI kind of struggles at that, really. At least in my opinion, it seems to struggle sometimes with coordinating good assaults. Granted, it probably also doesn't help that there's some supply shortages in some regions. Hejaz has capitulated for like the 20th time. Because the British keep launching naval invasions into them. And we continue to ignore defending them because why? Why do I care about Hejaz? Yeah, it leads to this disconnect in the Ottoman Empire, but, I mean, are the Ottomans losing any supplies? Oh no, because there's literally nothing in Yemen and Oman. At least as it stands right now. So, yeah, in fact, actually I don't even believe what would go on to become Saudi Arabia even has oil. Yeah. Well, it's like they don't have any oil. So, yeah. Like I said. Honestly, in this time frame, nobody gives a shit about these regions here. There's no reason to get these guys involved at all. Oh, looks like the Austro-Hungarians, though, they care about Hejaz. They really do. So they're going to go down. And they're going to go and liberate Hejaz again. I don't think I've ever bothered liberating Hejaz myself because I just don't care for them. They're not helpful to the war effort at all. They keep capitulating so damn much. Yeah, how about you go there, huh? That'd be grand. I mean, I'm lucky that China stayed out of the war, because this would be even more of a pain in the ass if China had joined the war. I don't know why China stayed out. They typically join the war. Hell, they typically join in like the opening month of the war. But then they typically go on to do nothing, in my experience, in reality. But again, there's somebody there. I believe they are considered a major power. Yeah. So, I would end up needing to capitulate them, realistically speaking, if I were to actually fight this all the way through to an actual victory. Or at least what the game would consider an actual victory. Go and take those provinces real quick. There's no reason for them to stay under French control. Oh, I should probably also switch to the repair focus. Because, yeah, I don't really need... Oh, for some reason the French, or the Japanese decided to give this to the French now. I don't know why. It's not helping the French. They're almost out of manpower. They're down to 100 some odd thousand. The range has gotten so tiny on them now. Because we have a better idea of just what they're able to field, which is basically nothing. In fact, Japan's not doing so hot either, though I think that's just because Japan doesn't have a particularly large population in the first place. The British are still running around with 3 million some odd manpower. But I technically still have more than them, but I am also on a higher tier of conscription, so it's not much of a surprise now, is it? Let's go for Flamethrower 2, but it's not going to matter because I'm not going to be playing for another 500, almost 600 in-game days. Yeah, Do you mind just attacking that province? Thank you very much. Okay, those guys are running. And just keep on advancing, guys. You'll do fine. Japan's probably not going to have a lot of manpower left after this fight. Especially if I manage to surround these guys. Ooh, that's really going to hurt them. You know, that'd be great. I should probably try and find a spot to surround those 16 Japanese divisions. Although we are kind of struggling to break through here. It doesn't really look like a supply issue per se. March, dude. Keep giving some civilian factories to the Dutch. You know what? I think this is the spot that we're going to go and surround those divisions. Because this fight, I think, should end before the other one. Yeah, it looks like we should manage to surround the bulk of those guys. Some of them might still manage to survive, but... or manage to escape, but I think we'll be able to surround the bulk of them. And that's really going to hurt the French, because that's 20 divisions of French troops. Okay, guys, let me in, damn it. Quit having these guys retreat back here and instantly join the fight, despite having no organization or supplies. Wonderful. Ooh, sucks to be those French and Japanese divisions, one of which is just sitting there twiddling its thumbs, saying, I'm not in this fight. I'm not here. You guys you guys actually managed to push across Constantinople. I am honestly surprised. But I am also happy that that occurred. Although I'd be even happier if you managed to push out and take that port. Yeah, there's no way to actually get to the British Raj without naval invasions as a stance. I'd have to either declare war on China or declare war on Afghanistan or Iran, but honestly Afghanistan would be much faster than Iran. Iran has proven to be a pain to invade sometimes, in my experience. Playing not necessarily this mod, but just this game in general, Iran can be a real pain to invade. Are people advancing into there? Yes, wonderful. Yeah, so that's going to really hurt the Japanese. That's a lot of manpower. Oh, wow, they just went to all-adult service and jumped up to 13 million manpower. Holy crap. And the French are now below 100,000, so... yeah, the French are pretty much done for at this point. Go and attack there, damn it, people. I mean, Jesus. Nobody wants to go to these provinces to attack here for some reason, as if, like, this guy, or this division is considered a bunch of badasses or something. No. They're just Japanese. We managed to knock out a pretty substantial Japanese army just a little while ago, guys. There's no reason to fear them. and the Greeks have officially capitulated. They still have some provinces, obviously, and namely Crete is going to be independent forever, pretty much, because it's just not possible for me to invade Crete, because I don't have a navy, and I won't get a navy for a while, because the navy I originally had got completely and utterly destroyed. Okay, game. They don't really have any plans. I just want you to realize that. If you guys take that, you don't have to defend there anymore. Okay, well, we more or less managed to push the Entente out of Russia, so good enough for me. Okay, there's still some fighting there, but at this point, again, I honestly believe that the Entente would have come to the table and said, yeah, this has gone on for far too long. I mean, it's been 11 years now. Okay, you have a Germany that has annexed Russia. You have the French who have capitulated. The Italians have capitulated. The Ottomans are on the verge of getting completely liberated, realistically speaking. So, yeah, no. The war is really not in their favor. Yes, we have more manpower losses, but it's only by 1 million right now, and honestly, I more so blame Austria-Hungary's incompetence more than anything. Yes, I technically have more casualties, but I think that's probably just because Austria-Hungary never decided to really help me in a lot of my fights. They typically like to sit on the sidelines and do nothing, leaving most of the heavy lifting to me. And as a result, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to push when I'm needing to push all by myself. Plus, we managed to take Nancy, then lose it. And so that didn't help us. That was a nice spot originally early on in the war to be able to push through, but our guys failed to hold it. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this series. Again, we might revisit this mod in the future, but that's probably only going to happen if I were to do multiplayer with a group of other people. Either on my Discord server or with like Shadow and a group of people from his Discord server or whatever the case would be. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this series. I'll see you all in whatever the next video it is on my channel that you watch. But until then, a goodbye and farewell. I don't know why I'm bothering to make a save for this, but I am. Because, who knows? Maybe I feel like continuing it for myself. But yeah, nonetheless. So that's going to be it for this part, or well, for this series, rather. But until the next time that you watch a video on my channel, goodbye and farewell.